Hello everyone, and welcome to this new indie game presentation. Today we are talking about Gord the Alliance. It's an interesting indie game with very funky game mechanics, and I wanted to present it to you today because it's a little bit of an RPG, survival, base building into very dark fantasy, maybe horror environment. And yeah, it's a quite interesting game. However, it's been discontinued. If you find it interesting, please do not hesitate to leave me a comment. Hold! Wait a second, Timmy.
Timber!
Did you know that most of the videos on this channel are actually recorded during live stream on Twitch and YouTube Live?
What?
That's right. And you could join the fun and be part of the next live, trying some indie games or following the next big release. We stream on Wednesdays and Sundays. If you want to know when a session is on, just subscribe to the channel and click on the bell button for the go live notification. That way you'll never miss the stream. Or you can follow me on Twitch, you just need an account. Now, back to the video. Gord has a very strange gameplay that I found extremely interesting, but on the other hand, this game has been discontinued. Therefore, I would also not advise for people who are not very game loving and willing to invest money even in games that are not finished or these sort of things. I would not advise for people to just jump on it. It's a game that you can find often at 90% off on Steam for like $5. So you can say like, oh, that's just $5. Okay, let's go for it. But it does still have a few bugs that sometimes can be gameplay impacting and even screw up your run or I don't know what. And they will not be fixed because the developers have stopped any support for the last 2 years. So the community is not very fan of it, and you will find a lot of bad reviews in that reason. I myself left a bad review because I want people to know that this game will not be supported anymore, and you cannot expect to have those bugs being corrected. However, the game itself is a lot of fun, and I found it extremely interesting to explore the possibilities that the gameplay offers on this one. We can do a custom scenario. We do have access to a campaign. I don't exactly know what the chronicle is.
The true
okay,
gods.
okay. The chronicles are like the things that you unlock. Normal players already know the game. They clicked on it. Yeah. Well, of course, but lots of people don't. So that's the reason why. Gord, let's try to do maybe a like. Can you just do a quick scenario? Casual, standard. The gods favor you with abundance, but can't win your battle for you. You start with a fair number of resource, moderate heal rate, and faith gain, and your enemies at basic threat level. I have no idea what the scenario is about. Let's try it, because why not? Now, what I like about that game is the fact that it is a base building strategy game, but where you can actually develop each of your characters. There you go. We start with... I'm going to pause the game for a second here. We start with a campfire and 6 guys. This is a scenario, so I've never played a scenario before, so we're gonna see how that goes. And each of those guys, as you can see, they have some sort of a initial job related to them. Now, if I click on one of them, this guy, for example, apparently is a hunter. It has a little bow and arrow here. Maelona, she's an archer, so she's a fighter already, yeah. But oh, this one is the hunter with the deer. Okay, she's idled, she's unassigned, but that's because we are just starting, not a problem. Each character has a whole character sheet with a lot of different details that you can actually look at and develop, and that's really cool. It's almost like if you were playing Baldur's Gate or a game like that with a group of people. But here's the thing: it's not. Because you build your base and you can even grow your population through them making children. And each child is going to be its own character with its own thing. So what does she have? She has a strength and a weakness. Her strength, she's materialist, so she gets plus 170 per second while holding an item. Okay, so she wants to find at least an item. And she gets sanity, that's pretty cool. She's weak versus spiders. So an archer... that would definitely be a character that I would like to send into the wild in order to, you know, help with the creatures and stuff, but she's weak against spider, which is not cool. So she's gonna do minus 50% attack damage against spider warriors. That's not very good. Now, the fact that she's an archer as her initial job doesn't mean that you have to keep her as an archer. you can actually decide to make her whatever you want, and that's the thing that's very interesting. Now, what are like, for example, you can say, oh, wait a second, you talked about sanity, what the hell is that? Okay, we have 3 different characteristics on the characters, and each of them can modify, and each of them can go very bad. So, obviously, the character's Earth. They can recover Earth over time. They can also go into a special building that will help them recover the Earth. So, that's fine. Now, sanity. This game has a sort of fog of war on the map. That's behind me. Sorry about that. The map has a big fog of war. Let's see if maybe I should move my camera a little bit so that I'm not in front of the interface. There we go. And this fog of war it's a real thing. It's a real thing. This is the wilderness, and the wilderness can be swampy, can be foresty, it's globally very scary. It's spooky. Lots of very bad creatures, lots of bad things, and people are scared. They're scared for their life. Their sanity, they will lose it going into the dark or going gathering stuff into the forest and, in order to grow the village. If they don't have access to some sort of light, they don't feel secured at all, and so they lose sanity. When their sanity goes down, they get nuts. And that's very bad. They get bad traits that will affect them, that potentially can really make them nuts. They start attacking people around and these sort of things. So sanity, an important factor. If you look at the characters here, you actually see their Earth and their sanity as being the 2 main bars, because the sanity is just that important. They start with a big number, but that number can go down very, very easily. Now, they are by the campfire, so they're actually growing by their sanity, but when they go and harvest stuff, they lose it constantly. And then they have their faith. Individual faith is the contemporary faith strength of this particular subject. The faith is a weird arts mechanic that gives you level of faith here, that gives you basically sort of mana. It gives you points, which you can use in order to play incantations, in order to play sort of magic as some sort of a god, like as a sort of godlike thing where you're on top of your people. So, I'm going too much into detail right now. What do we have to do? We have a campfire, that's nice and all. Well, first thing first, we need to set up a camp. We have a little bit of resources. Let's go for it. Let's build our first palisade. Now, I could get those in, that's not necessarily problematic. Do we have fish in this zone? I don't know if we do. I want to make sure that the resources don't immediately get destroyed by that. So, also, where do I want my door, my main door? I think I want the main door to be south like this. I'm using Q and E in order to change the position of the palisade. Also, you can manually move them. You can extend them a little bit. And I will strongly suggest that you try to extend your initial camp as much as you can, because space is an issue in this game, and this is the max amount that I can have. Okay, there we go. That seems okay. It's okay big, but yeah, Grodek, name of your Gord. Okay, good for me. You can suggest more, but okay. Trinovo, Sohachev, Rania, oh, it doesn't matter. Speronist, yeah, how about Speronist? Now, there are a lot of interesting game mechanics when it comes to the base building. So, first of all, as you can see, I just set up the palisade, and they all, because they're idle, they're all going to start working on it. Now, they don't necessarily need to do each of these palisades. It comes as a one object. So, once they are done working on it, each of them are going to pick a side and do something, but they are all working on it basically, so it's going to be built in one go. 70-80%, you can see down there we go. You couldn't see it, it's behind me, okay. Now, the palisades are up and running. From those palisades, we have some wood, we have some reeds. We need food for our peeps. When they don't have food, they don't feel very good. And we have additional resources on this side, which are less necessary. They are more regarding to the development of the village, while those are quite necessary because wood and reed is the base material for every building. The food is for your peeps, so you actually do need those resources quite in good quantity. Let's immediately see what we can do with this. We have 170 wood. We need 50 for the thatchery. So we need already 100 wood just to build those two stuff. And then the forager hut requires the lumber mill and the thatchery to have been built. Okay, cool, no problem. So, where do we have a lot of wood? We have a lot of wood in this area. Also, on the map, we are rather on the left side. So, that means the map does not go much beyond this. So, we want the thing to be maybe around here, maybe by the door. But we have food here, which I don't want to impact. So, I could maybe build my sawmill here. They're gonna lumber mill. They're gonna go and work on it. And the factory, the reed. Where do they have the reeds? They have a lot of. All those are reeds. Are those reeds? Yes. How about I put it here next to the entrance? You see, the building's actually quite big. So, when I said try to get your space so that you can place stuff in, it's a thing. Now, we start with those basic buildings. We can assign up to 3 workers, and eventually we can upgrade the building, which allows us to put more workers in. The lumber mill, immediately, because this guy was a lumberjack as a initial job, he straight up went for the lumber mill. But does it mean that it is necessarily the best character for it? And this is where the game gets a little complex. After having seen his basic interface, we can click here and we can assign to each character up to 3 items that we find on the map or killing enemies or these sort of things. These items are going to give them interesting boosts on different aspects, but most importantly, they are giving them boost on the jobs they do, or as they could have an armor, they could have like a better weapon or this sort of thing if you use them for fighting. So, but you can only have an item of each type, meaning that if you have an armor, for example, you cannot have a second armor type item used by the same character. You can have an accessory, you can have a pendant, you can have a weapon, for example, and then you can wear all of them. Lots of items have prerequisites, or at least they expect the character to be at a certain level to be able to make use of its effects, and this is where the skill come in play. Now, here's the thing. So this guy, he didn't come virgin, he didn't come completely empty. He had a life, he is actually an adult. So, he's not at 0 everywhere, he's actually experienced in quite a few things, and we can see immediately that the most experience that he is actually in trading. And trading experience is gained by earning gold in the trading post. So, you tell me, how does a lumberjack have a lot of trading expertise? Well, that's what I said. It's not because he's a lumberjack that it means you need to use him as a lumberjack. Now, his cutting experience, which relates to both wood and, I believe, reed, if I'm not mistaken, as resources, the cutting experience that this guy gains by doing that job actually has a minus 10% XP modifier. So he's a very, very poor lumberjack. He's not good at cutting wood. However, it does gain 30% XP modifier in exploring or gathering food. So why should I use this dude priority into cutting wood when he could get so much experience and so much better, quicker gathering food instead. So I'm going to use Yaroslav as a fruit gatherer, not as a lumberjack. To do so, forager hut immediately. And we actually have some foraging stuff inside the base. So let's put the forager's hut right here. The positioning of the building is not like an easy thing to do, but that should be fine. I could actually place it. I just don't want to lose the resource because there is a resource right here. Okay. Hopefully it's gonna go and it's gonna start taking those resources. Now eventually we can extend the palisades by creating more palisades, but that comes later in the game. So I'm gonna ask those guys because I can see that we don't have a lot of food right now.
Our sisters are enjoying their quality of life.
Oh, thank you. I'm gonna ask this guy to immediately come here and start gathering food for me. Now, do we have in our characters, if I go back to Yaroslav, do we have in our characters someone who's good at cutting? So Soberiad, who... hilarious. Soberiad, who is a forager, is actually excellent at cutting. So, Soberiad, my friend, you are the new Yaroslav. He does also have a 20% food production experience. So he's not... Actually, this guy is great. He's good at everything. He's a jack of all trades. Cutting experience, mining experience, food production, exploring. He's good at everything. So this guy is good. Eloy is whining. So what does that do? It's his strength, though. Plus 2,500 sanity after successfully completing a fight for prize quest. Okay. What is his weakness? Party animal. A minus 2,500 sanity after failing a holiday quest. Okay, so those might be the random quest that comes during the scenario or during the map. Like you get some random events, and that must be related to that. So if we manage to do a fight for prize quest, he will gain a lot of sanity for that. But I think the more important is not that he gains a lot of sanity. The more important that he might lose 2,500 sanity, which is half of his sanity, if we fail a holiday quest. Now that's important to remember. Okay, they all came completely naked, so they don't have any item or whatever. What about the third guy? Our hunter. Now, her health is not very high. She has 137. He has 132, 137, 143, that's better. 150, this guy, the archer. This girl. And 136 for this one. Okay. So that's actually, I never really... Brave versus horror, interesting. I never really pay attention to the fact that they have different level of health. But I think that's quite important. Because you will need to fight with these characters. Now, this person here has plus 30% mining experience, so she will be an excellent miner. We do not have any mining before the second phase of the game, because mining clay or iron is something that you need for sort of the second level of building and equipment and stuff. So, what she could do, while she's not mining, she does not have any negative modifiers when it comes to fighting, so good stuff. And for food production, she's not very good, but she has some good fighting experience, so maybe I make her a fighter. However, her exploring experience is not very good, so it would not be great to have her as a scout to explore the map. Now, there is a thing that's very important, the scout. The scout is a special job that is a sort of support job. So you will need fighters to protect your peeps. I'm gonna let them build. You need fighters to protect your people from either the creatures in the wilds. So we said, Yaroslav, you are my food gatherer. Stop what you're doing and gather food instead. There. They can change job, that's not a problem. As soon as he went in, he changed his job. So now he's a forager. you need to protect your peeps, because at the moment they are gathering whatever is here in the palisades, so some wood and some foraging stuff. But very quickly they're gonna start needing to go out of the palisades, and you have a lot of creatures, monsters, and enemies on the map. So how do you protect those people when they just randomly come out and go for getting a resource of sort? Well, you need fighters. But you need to be able to first gather everything that you need to develop your village if you want to be able to spare some of those villagers to be fighters. So, yeah, you have a little bit of a management issue here that you need to deal with. Okay, very interesting. Mikos. So Mikos is a clay worker. But turns out that he does not have any mining experience, so he's a very poor clay worker. He does not have any mining experience. He is not good at mining at all. However, he is very good at learning how to fight. And he does not have any negative on exploring. This guy could be our scout. How much life does he have? 126. He's very weak, however. He's brave against the horror, so plus 570 per second on the horror is his range of sight. Okay. But he fears the white folks. He loses sanity when there is a white folk in on the side. Interesting. Now, what are those things? In Gord, on the map, so if you play the campaign, you play a succession of maps. So, in Gord, the Gord, by the way, is the name of this village in the wilds. In this game, you will have an opponent, the white folks. They are the natives of this place. And they are not very appreciative of the fact that you just came and basically took over their lands. So they will start attacking you at some point once they realize you're here, and their attacks will get increasingly more present until you eventually just go and destroy their village of sort. So they are not necessarily very strong, and your villagers are strong enough to fight against them. If you specialize your villagers into fighting work, such as an archer or a axe wielder or these sort of things, they will have some bonuses in order to, to fight enemies. The white folks are somewhere in the map, and they will eventually come occasionally and attack the Gord. For this, we have the palisade to protect ourselves. They do not come inside for as long as they did not breach the palisade, even if the door is open. So that's a game mechanic, but just accept it. However, the horror, now that is something entirely different. The horror, you have only one in the map, somewhere. And that horror is like a deity. It's like a enormous creature, very strong. And that horror eventually will get aware of you being here, and as its status of deity will request things of you. You have to sacrifice things for that deity. Otherwise, bad things happen. Now you can eventually fight a horror and kill a horror, so you get rid of these all requests that she sends. But you better need a pretty strong army to be able to do so. However, you have that opportunity, that option, that you can fight the horror. And the horrors, like the graphics and everything is very, very nice in that game. That's why, even if the game has been discontinued, I'm still sort of enjoying it. The graphics are very nice. The ambience is very spooky. It's always raining. It's always like they are living in a very harsh environment. These people, trying to survive, basically. Now we have our lumber mill, and we have our forager hut and our thatchery. We do need a lot of wood, so I will try to find someone else that is really good at cutting, and put another cutting person. So Irena, she immediately went into, she had the job. She has very good cutting experience, so she's fit for the job of being a reed cutter. Mailona, our archer, has very good cutting experience. She's gonna be a lumberjack. And we have Mikos that has better fighting experience. He's actually a very poor cutter. So he could potentially do a little bit of food gathering. But do we have someone else doing nothing? Here, that person. That person has great mining experience. She sucks at exploring. She does have good fighting experience. But no specific food production experience. So, Mikos, since you have pretty good food production, please do gather a little bit of food. And so the only person left is this hunter. Now she's bad at exploring, so do we have somebody that's actually good at exploring? We have Yaroslav. Yaroslav has a plus 30% XP when it comes to food production or exploring. So that does not really compute very well together because while food production is something important, so you might want to have him produce food for you, but he could be a very good explorer as well. You gain experience in exploring when you uncover some of these black mists, basically. What do you gain out of exploring more? Range of sight. So you gain some range of sight. Exploring experience gained by revealing more of the map, lifting the fog of war. He has very good trading experience. So this is a complex guy. Sobeirad. Maybe that's my jack of all trades, Sobeirad, right? Yeah. The other characters do not really have something very interesting. So Sobeirad, my jack of all trades, right now is cutting wood, but he will eventually become. He has already 2 fighting experience. I think he could be also a scout. So right now I only have her. She's a miner. She does not really have good stats, so I need what? More wood. Just cut some wood for me. And I'm going to accelerate a little bit. I've been talking a lot, but I didn't show much. Meaning, we are going to gather some resources at the moment, and we are not being attacked. But the next thing I can do, for example, is the scout tower. So I have enough now resource to build the scout tower, and that will allow me to assign the scout job to one of my peeps. So let's put the scout tower in place that's not bothering anyone. For example, yeah, there is nothing in particular here, so let's put it here. Now anyone that's available will build. So maybe Dobiaslava, when she's done with the wood, she will go and do it. No, Sobia did it. Those two will do it. Okay. As soon as they bring the stuff, they start building. Also, there is I saw that there is a limit at the number of builders that comes, and then they go back to doing whatever they were doing before. Now there is one of the bugs in the game. That is that at some point, and I really like the animations, by the way, like the way she's catching the wood. At some point, come on, bring the log. There you go. Now cut the log. There you are. Look at that. I mean, those animations, really, really cool. And the next one is gonna do the same. Put it up. There you go. Start cutting the log and stuff. Yeah, there you are, preparing the log for construction. Those little animations are really, really nice to see. And overall, the graphics are very nice as well. You can zoom pre-close. You can look at your villagers, do their thing. We have a little bit of fish here. Oh, very, 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 very few fish. Do we have fish here? We have a little bit more. So we have eventually a fishing pond here. And that's it for the fish. So the fish is not a very good source of food. Do we have any wild life? We have one game here. I do not see a lot more in the immediate vicinity. So in terms of food, I think for the moment the forager is definitely what we want. And you can already see that we have some people already out. Now I saw somebody here. Yeah, there is someone walking here. Can I take... Who's my jack of all trade? You're my jack of all trade. Where are you? you're cutting. I'm gonna wait for you to come back. Oh, and there's something here. A life spring. Nice. There is something walking around here. I'm not entirely sure what that is. But I think it's someone. It's a kid. Oh, but I think it's a spirit. It's not a kid, it's a spirit. So, we are gathering a little bit of things. Now, we can start building. We have the fishing shack, we have the hunter den. As we saw, both are not very great. Obviously, the best of the two is the fishing shack. What I would want, however, is to set up a exit on this side. So I'm gonna go into special first and build an additional gate that costs 100 wood. It's quite expensive. I'm gonna put the gate here. And once this gate is done, I'm gonna ask them to put a fishing shack. I need 100 wood. I don't have the wood anymore. So first of all, I do the gate, and then we see. And then you, doing a great job, you have things around that you can go and start gathering. So, some resources, like there is a bag already we see here, there are 2 bags, but there might be enemies, there might be like creatures or I don't know what. So you're gonna come here, you're gonna be a scout. Now, what is the scout? And that's the thing that is quite important. The scout is a special character, and he is special in his capacity to actually provide light for the people around. The scout is special because he gains experience through walking around in the wilderness. So if I can find a scout torch, a scout's tower allows subjects to assume the scout profession. Okay, it would have been better if I could actually see the detail of the scout profession, so I could show you. But yeah, it's basically here. So he has a higher range of sight that allows him to explore the fog of war. But also he is able to use a special item, which is the torch. And the torch provides light for people even when they are outside of the camp. As you can see, this camp has light around. As long as they walk around the light or into a light radius, they don't lose their sanity. They actually regained it. Look at that. They were all pretty low in sanity, the yellow bar, but now they are almost all at the top. So this one, she's going for the reed, so now she's starting to use that door. What I wanted to add was the fishing shack, and I'm going to put it... Come on, help me. The position is really not that easy. If I do that, I'm losing a lot of space here, so how about I try to... How about like that? Maybe in the other direction? Next to the door. So I have enough space for another building below. I'm gonna put it here, so the fisherman can go out from that door, access the fish immediately, and that would be a great, efficient way of getting stuff. Okay, so my scout, he has his little torch, and he can start looking around at things, and we already see that character I'm interested in. Hello! Hello, golden boy. Now, what are you? Oh, he gave me something. Nice, thank you. Are you leaving? Or are you just staying here? Okay. What did you give me this time? A pile of gold. Nice, thank you. I found you. What else do you have for me? Another pile of gold. Alright. And bye-bye. The spirit disappeared. Very, very cute. I love it. So, we do find some things in the ground, and we definitely want to take them. If you look at the minimap, you can actually zoom on the minimap, if the minimap wants to zoom at the right position, of course. I should be able to reorient the minimap, no? Okay, that is very strange. Why I cannot zoom properly. Anyway, on the minimap, you see a lot of resources and a lot of markers, of points and stuff like. So the symbols are here. You have the enemies, point of interest, treasures, herbs, friendly subjects, structures, horror, and resources. And funny enough, you have all those little triangles here, the treasures. They are point of interest to look. I mean, of course, these point of interest are more like life spring, etc. So they are like special things that you can find into the map. But the yellow one are resources on the map. So we are going to immediately start looking at those. Because there are actually quite a few. And they can boost up the game significantly. We found a grave. There were 15 gold. I lost some sanity by pillaging the grave. Not the second time, but the first time I did. As you can see, the line of sight is really not that great right now. So I'm going to just direct my guy. Look at the resource a little bit. Here we have a Leshi totem. Deities bless those who take the time to pay homage to that totem. The patron gods of each profession will increase the speed of gaining experience in that field. Let's check which one it is. Food production. Experience gain plus 200% for 1 month. And we found an excellent axe. Okay, cool. So the excellent axe, those are the resources that we are gathering, the mushrooms, I don't know what. So I cannot gather them, it says wrong profession. Obviously I'm a scout. Now, however, if I go into his interface, we did find two stuff. Excellent boots and excellent axe. Now, as you can see, there is a little locker on them. That means I cannot actually use them. And why? Because this one is only for axe wielder at or above level 2 fighting experience. This guy has 2 level fighting experience, but he's not an axe wielder, he's a scout, so he cannot use it. Now, if he could use it, the effect would be plus 10% damage. It's a weapon. And now we have the boots. What do they do? Only for hunter at or above level 2 food production experience. So that's the prerequisite on this one. And this one is a tool, and the effect is increased speed when carrying a carcass by 20%. So the hunter has to carry the carcass of the game that he kills, so it takes a lot of time, and thanks to the boots he can actually go 20% faster. Now once again, we are not having much visibility, but we are gaining experience. Actually, there is a good way to say it. It's to open this, to keep it open here, and to look at that progress. If I just walk around, you will see that slowly but surely, by unfolding the fog, my bar is going to progress a little bit. It does take time. It's a game that requires... Oh, I triggered a trap. That was a carcass. So I actually walked on it, and that could have been bad. Yeah, it is bad. I got poisoned. Oh, we hear an animal here, and we do not want to go and see the animal, because it could be a group of animals, such as a group of wolves, for example. What was I saying? Literally. It's not the wolves, it's alligators. Bye-bye, I'm leaving. Yeah. There is a range at which they are willing to run, and then they are probably gonna go back to where they were, but... God, 2 alligators for this poor little scout, I think he would have died. Let's check those bags, however. We found friend strength, and this was red. Oh yeah, he's sick. Unfortunately, I got it sick. Could I find an herb that cures the sickness? That would be great if I could. The herb that cures the sickness appears white on the map.
There's a new decision to be made.
Okay, so that's an event. I'm gonna stop, I'm gonna pause. There are a few things on the map that you still need to understand. So for example, you have herbs, and 3 categories of them. You have the red one, you have the yellow one, and then you have the green one, but it appears white on the map, especially because the map is gray most of the time, unless there is light to show the color. So in the gray, the green herb appears white because of the flower. And I do not see a single one in the vicinity. That's not... Yes, I do. Right here. the green herb. Now the green herb cures poison. So I'm gonna tell him, come here and take the green herb. Before I do that though, I'm gonna quickly check this bag. It's an item, I cannot take it. Okay. And what about the cart? Ah, it contains some reeds, so the cart was good. So, quickly, you are sick. Come here and take an herb. Now, we have a decision. This is an event. You will have events happening periodically. Such as, hey, a new kid just got born. Or people just arrived into your... What is this? Hunter. Kill Saragash. Time remaining 100 minutes. Is that our main quest for this scenario? Looks like it is our main quest. I did not know we had a main quest in scenarios, so it was probably open the whole time, I just didn't see it. So we have Saragash, and it's either a chief wildfolk, or it might be the name of the horror, and we have to kill that person within 2 hours. Now let's check the event. A decision must be made.
Hurry! That was an accident.
Oh, great. Most of the events... No, actually, no. They can be both good or bad, but this is a bad event. Memory lost. There was an accident at one of our structures. Erwina slipped and hit her head hard. Someone nearby came to help her, and after a while she regained consciousness. But she doesn't remember anything. She doesn't know where she is, what she is doing here, or even who she is. It is probably temporary, but the woman needs time to recover. Okay. We can... it's a decision making here, so we can let her rest. Her memory will come back in time. If we do that, she's stricken with brain rot, and she loses 60 earth. So, half of her life. Or there is no time to rest, she has to work. We do not have that negative effect, but we are going to have an unknown result. Now the unknown result for this event, I know because I already had it, it's gonna be that she will have a affliction. So for the sake of the video, I'm gonna do that because it's more interesting. There is no time to rest, she has to work. Okay. So what she got... Oh, she did not get an affliction, sorry. She lost 25% maximum earth. So that was not good. Not good at all. So her max earth just got divided. And she also got minus 600 HP... experience point in her current profession. Now, who was she? It was... Erwina. It was our reed gatherer. The video starts well. She just lost 600 experience in cutting. And she's in the thatchery. Yeah. So her cutting experience went down. I think she was at 3 or something like that. And she went down to barely more than 2. That sucks. That sucks. And she also lost 25% earth, so she has a 137. Was she our toughest character? And I believe she was. So she was our toughest character, and now she's one of the weak. Is at 143. Are they gaining more earth? Was he always, Yaroslav, was he always at 143? Mikos, wasn't he at 126? So apparently they're gaining some earth through the village expanding, or like... Yeah, it looks to me that they are getting stronger. Anyway, she was at 150 and she's now at 100. She was probably up to 160 and now she has 137. Anyway, not the worst that could have ever happened. Actually, I thought she would be subject of an affliction, and that's actually much worse. So, what are the afflictions? The afflictions can either affect their mental capacity or their earth. They can be sick by something special. That usually happens if one of the characters gets to be defeated during a fight. If it's not killed immediately, then that person gets knocked unconscious, and you have a chance to use another character. Oh, I just realized we have quite a lot of resources, so I'm gonna build some stuff. You can use another character to wake up the person even during the fight, and that person comes back, has a little bit of life left, can continue fighting, or can escape eventually and survive. However, often than not, they will be affected by a physical affliction, such as a broken bone or some sort of, I don't know, poisoning or something like that. And that's very problematic. Why? Because mental affliction and physical affliction in this game can only be cured if you find the respective two characters, the witch or the druid. And the witch hut and the druid hut are hidden somewhere on the map. And I can tell you they are not close by. They are probably like in one edge of the map pretty far. And you have to go there through all the creatures, monsters, and I don't know what, to figure it out. And once you found them, eventually you can exchange gold or food or something like that to get cured at their hut. And it's once in a while. It's not all the time. You cannot send all your characters to get cured immediately. It's like once every 10 minutes or something. So the druid, if I remember, is a healer, so he knows how to cure physical affliction. And the witch, however, is the one that you need to cure the mental affliction. Okay. Now, I've sent my scout to eat his green herb, and now the poison that was affecting him, is finally cured. He lost a little bit of life, quite a bit actually. Now, the red herb that is right here is a healing herb. I'm gonna eat one. That's the wrong character, I suppose. I took the wrong character, sorry. You go back to whatever you were doing. You are probably gathering reed, and I did a mistake, I clicked on you, so. There is a lot of micromanagement in that game, and I'm pausing the game a lot to be able to explain, otherwise I would completely lose my focus. There is a lot of micromanagement. It's a game that's very, very heavy on micromanagement. So I love, however, the look of my little characters. They look really good. So take a red herb. You are at 114 out of 138 in Earth, and now you are fully healed. And he is almost full of sanity. Since he has his torch with him, he does not lose sanity. That's the thing of the scout. The scout does not lose sanity. Now, another thing. I mean, yes, he has a weakness, so party animal, he can lose sanity because of the partying stuff. We did find an item that was special here, and I didn't have time to look at it. Fern's strand, a lock of hair cut from the wind himself, can be used to untangle your enemies so that they are helpless to act. The requirement is to have a subject with any experience at level 5. Level 5 means full bar. So already a very experienced individual. Not easy to use. Only one item of this category can be equipped. It's a unique item, it's an accessory, and the effect is the subject attacks have 20% chance of immobilizing an enemy, preventing them from moving, attacking, or using special ability for 5 seconds. So this is actually really good for an archer. Or potentially even for a fighter, but I would say you give this to an archer that's a level 5 archer or whatever, it will immobilize the enemy while the others are killing it. And that's pretty cool. Now we have the life spring that would have also probably restored my life. If I look at the detail, life spring, restore even the most grievous injuries. Yes. I wonder if the life spring can resolve a physical affliction. I'm fairly sure that it does not. Only the druid can, because that's the specific of the druid. Okay, so this guy has item he cannot use. I'm gonna ask him to come back into the middle of the village, next to the campfire, for example. And that's the good thing. You can actually give those items to someone else. Right now, I actually do not even have the people I need for that. So I'm gonna tell him, put those items here. Now that is interesting. I just have another crash. Fatal error. Now what exactly is happening? This is the second crash in 2 different games. And not a small crash. Not a small crash at that. A nice big crash. Oh. Alright. So, I heard that there was some issues coming with the stream, and I don't know what. I do not know if this is what's affecting my my computer right now. But I have to force quit the game. I actually had a soft crash before, but this time it was a pretty hard one. Let's start it again and see what happens. Maybe it's some sort of an update I have from NVIDIA. Because I can see there is an overlay from NVIDIA here. Is it what's crashing my games? I'm gonna have to check this. Well, those are the ins and outs of the stream. You never know what's gonna happen. Performance monitoring. Okay. I hope it's done. I still have something here, like to return physics CPU. Is it what's happening? Is it because for whatever the reason NVIDIA's the physics is being sent to my CPU instead of the other one? Graphics, display, blah blah blah. Maybe that's something important that needs to be seen, huh? Graphics quality, custom, it's not a problem. No, I don't see anything in particular in regard to the physics. Default display, whatever. Can play audio control. Okay, well. Custom scenario, we can continue. We'll see how that goes. We are 50 minutes in the video at some point. What I would like to do, I have quite a bit of resources at that point. Oh wow, it crashed. The last save was quite a bit before. So it's before finding this. So I'm not seeing the alligators this time. What I can do immediately, so now that we have seen all those details, I don't need to go and... but the event is going to happen to Eliana. So she was... Okay, interesting, since we had this back... she was a experienced level 3 cutting person. And she lost all the way from here down to here. Because of this event. Because I did not let her rest. Now, Hunter Den, I don't know if I want to do it, because I don't see a lot of game in this area, to be fair. However, I think we are ready to go for the advanced building. So first building that I want to present to you is the Balia. The Balia is an interesting building. It is a healing building. It's their bath, basically. So they like their bath. I'm gonna put the Balia right here, next to the scout tower. And we have a second building that's interesting, that's the meadery. And the meadery is here to help them have some fun and retrieve their sanity. So if they go out far, and that will happen at some point, because you cannot just keep on taking all the resources around you. At some point you need to go and find the resource where they are. Drop mushroom. You dropped everything to come and help build stuff. You cannot keep on taking everything that's around you. At some point they will need to start finding the resource where they are. So they will be farther and farther from the village, and that means traveling into the wilds farther and farther. Now we have the military, and in the military we have a few things of interest that I wish to quickly present to you. First, we have the axe pit that will allow us to make the axe wielders, so the basic fighters. Then we have the archery range, which I don't have the wood for, which allows me to make an archer. Now the benefits of the different two is that the archer attacks from a range, but also if there are too many enemies, they might come in contact and the archer will have to fight in melee. But the fact that some of the characters can fight from a range is interesting. They are DPS characters. Now the melee character has a bit more oomph, and it can actually cover for the archers. What is that barrel bomb? I actually don't even know that. A barrel filled with explosive materials that detonates when enemies get within range. It's a mine. Okay, it's a mine that you can put on the map. You have also a smoke mine, a mine hidden underground by a layer of dirt. When an enemy steps on it, the mine detonates, covering the area in smoke. So this is made for what? For delaying the enemy. So maybe you put them around the palisades and you delay the enemy for a while, allowing you to gather your villagers so that you can fight back. Yeah, you have two other interesting buildings you can, constructions you can make. The rattlesnake. It's a crude alarm system that allows you to know that, oh my god, they are there, they are coming, they are from this direction. I haven't used that so much. It also attracts hostiles' attention and slows the enemy who destroys it. So it's a decoy as well. You use that as a decoy because since your villagers are gonna go into the map farther, it will take them time to be able to come back here. So if you have to fight a big group, a large group of, let's say, wildlings, it can be beneficial to put some rattlesnakes left and right and see them coming. The fireflies, well, it's simple structure to provide lights outside of a palisade, so it's pretty self-explanatory. It does cost 25 wood and 25 reed, so it is costly to build those things, but that will put light in the woods, and therefore the people passing by that light, going from one place to another, will lose less sanity. I did not play so much with it so far, but I can see how a good player would want to have Firefly a little bit left and right in order to provide light. Now, the monsters around and the creatures around, they would potentially attack your buildings. So you might want to keep an eye on that, and it's costly. It does cost quite a bit of resources. But once you have built your village, I suppose that putting rattlesnakes or fireflies around is probably a good idea. Then you have your third military building, which is the spear hall. Allows you to train spearmen, and from what I understood, the spear warriors, spearmen, does gain. They are the tanks basically, and they do gain quite a lot of additional life or additional armor, whatever it is. Now, building stuff allows for your village to expand. It grows, that means that your people are also getting happier with this. Right now the sanity level is very good, but the growth level of the settlement is fairly low. If I up the growth level, then I will have the possibility to, as you can see, the growth influence quite a lot of things. So basic infrastructure, advanced military, special, and carvings are all influencing the growth. And the levels of growth will give your peeps more joy, and probably they make children faster. So you get to increase your pool of villagers. Now, if we look into the special, okay, I didn't look at the last one, the Scorpion. So the Scorpion is also an interesting building. This one you put on the palisades, if you have the space for it. It requires one of your villager to use it as a tower, but it's a basic fixed defense tower that you have in the village, and that even somebody who's not a fighter can operate. So you can send your scout into the Scorpion and then operate the Scorpion. They are very strong, you can upgrade them, and they will kill an enemy in 2 shots. Now 1 shot takes some time, it's like a giant crossbow basically, but it does the work. Even if your fighters are on the other side of the map, the villagers can defend themselves using the Scorpion, so that's worth making. It does cost quite a bit to build, if I remember. Now, if you look into the special, now those are more weird arse stuff. The shrine, the burial grounds, the temple, so those are faith related. The burial ground is in order to put your dead, because you will have dead people. So they would go into the burial grounds. This way people are not sad or don't get insane by seeing their corpses. You can use a villager to carry the corpse of another village and bring it into the burial ground. And then you have what? Taming House. I have not played yet with the taming ability. I didn't go far enough into the campaign to unlock the taming part, so I don't know exactly what that is. Obviously, you can tame creatures and train them to become familiars, so they fight for you. And then we can extend the palisades. This is very costly. If I remember, it's 400 wood. But at some point, this gets crowded. Okay, we already have 6 buildings and we don't have so much space left. I can probably put 1 building here, probably 1 building here, and 1 building in the middle, maybe here, max, but I don't know. So if I go into the basics, I have those. I did not do the Hunted Zen and the storehouse. If I go into advanced, I have all of that I need to build. And then, so the ironwork, the claywork for the upgrade of the buildings, then the trading post, the grain field, which I don't know, allow wheat farmer to grow and process wheat for food. Interesting, very interesting. I haven't played with this yet. And then we have the gold mine, which is the very last building. It's in order to gather gold, and the gold allows you to pay for different things. You can pay, I think, the druid ask for gold or for food, or the witch ask for gold. Some traders can ask for gold. The trading post also allows you to exchange one resource for another. So it's all about managing those different resources, etc., etc. And then carvings, those are just enhancing the beauty of your gourd, hence making them into a higher level of growth and having more new commerce. Now, what I really liked about that game, and I'm not talking about the bugs of the game because there are many, what I really like about the game is the possibility to just take one villager, use that villager and basically tell him do this or do that. Otherwise, they basically do what their work is telling them to do, but they might be kind of dumb when it comes to finding a creature in the wild. So, let's say for example, I come here and I tell him, okay, you put that out.
There's a new decision to be made.
And you put that out. So, new decision to be made. That's the girl.
Something bad has happened.
Yeah. I'm gonna let her rest this time. So she's gonna lose some life. And she has brain rot, an affliction. She's suffering from brain rot. The subject attack damage, food production, mining speed, cutting speed are significantly reduced. Inventory capacity for all resources is decreased. Go to the subject. You can see her affliction here. The brain rot can be healed for a price in the witch hut. Now I am curious. Can the life spring restore that injury? It's a mental affliction, so I think it does not. Funny enough, not letting her rest was probably the best outcome for that event, because now she's suffering from this affliction, which you can see here on the stuff, and you cannot get rid of it unless you actually find the witch hut and pay the witch to heal her. So having an affliction is actually much worse. So the subject's attack damage, food production, mining speed, and cutscene speed are significantly reduced, which ultimately are like, it's not so penalizing. It's just she's slower, but she does not lose her stuff. Wait, what? Okay, so we were talking about bugs earlier, right? Inventory capacity for all resource is decreased. Inventory capacity. Okay. I think this is a bug. Typically, so one of the bugs that you can find in the game, she just got reset at all of her experience, down to 1. This is so incredibly worse than what was previously. Okay, I can see how she has this affliction and you need to find the witch heart to heal her, which is annoying, and until you do so, she's slower into working. Okay, it's penalizing, but at least you don't lose all your experience. Turns out, she lost all of her experience. This is ridiculous. This is like beyond absurd, because like a character that loses all of the experience, it's like you can toss this character away, you know? It's like she's useless. Taking the other option, she had lost a lot of experience in the cutting, and she had temporarily lost some max earth as well, or something like that. But here it's like she got everything. She got all the effects. So definitely this is a bug. It's not supposed to happen. Unless she's into this state where she's basically useless until you find the witch hut. But the witch hut can be really far. So that basically means this character is useless until then. We found a fisherman's symbol. Okay. Let's go and explore a tiny bit, and then we're gonna call it quit for this video. I think that I had the opportunity to show you most of what the game is about. So let's just look around a little bit. Found some more stuff. Oh, found a snake. Can you kill a snake by yourself? Are you able to kill a snake by yourself? No, that's not a small snake, that's a giant snake. That's a very, very monstrous snake. And at the moment, the snake did not do its venom thing, so it's not too bad. Yes! He very successfully killed the snake. He did lose quite a bit of life doing so. We are at the edge of the map. There is a boar. We don't want to fight the boar, but the boar wants to fight us. No, don't fight the boar, please. We found more stuff. Exploring experience, very nice. We found more snakes. So there are quite a lot of animals and they all want our guts, as you can see. Right now I'm just having fun walking around, but I would never do that in normal time. They will eventually stop running after me. And that's a wildling. Okay. Now they are trying to kill me at every possible occasion. This guy. If I bring it here, my other villagers should be able to provide assistance. Ah, he left. Okay. Now he can eat some of those, and he can actually go into the fountain of life. Well, no need. Just eating some of those red plants was enough. I found a scout symbol, very good, since he's a scout, and a skull necklace. What does that do? It's an amulet, and that's an amulet as well. So you can only have one of each style, right? Where is he going? Therefore, there is no point for me to keep all this equipment. I'm going to leave it here. The fisherman symbol. The skull necklace does what? 30% fighting experience gain. Only one item can be equipped. This one is immediately equipable, while this one requires level 2 exploring. which I'm not very far from having, and then I can use the scout symbol. But they are both amulets, so I cannot use both. So let's do that. There we go. Let's do that. Can we find something interesting on the map? If I just go like a crazy man. So we got some more flowers. I can always eat the flowers to regenerate a little bit. I could even fight the wildling, I think, by myself. If I am alone. Red Horde Axeman. Yeah, I think I can do it. As you can see, they are not very strong. It's just that eventually they come by groups of 5. There we go. Look at him. He just gained a level of what? Fighting? Yes. We just got a level 2 fighting experience. Let's check what was in the thing. 37 gold. Let's take a little bit of life. We still have not passed the stupid level 2 of exploring. Another guy! Or maybe they are like bandits or something. We got a child. Okay. Another event. Done. So, he's not that bad. I mean, he's an actually good fighter. Some read. He did get some damage, but we can definitely heal right here. We got some red herbs. And there he goes. Good as new. Now, let's come here. There was a kid that arrived. I didn't really have the time to look at it, but that doesn't matter because it's just a kid. She has 0 experience on anything, of course. However, her modifiers are really good. She's also a jack of all trade, plus 30%, cutting and mining, food production 20%, 20% exploring. She just sucks at trading, but you know what? Trading comes very late in the game. She would be a beautiful scout as well, very good woodcutter. She has incredible stats. She's strong versus cursed ones. 50% attack damage against the cursed one. Okay. She hates bathing, however, so she will lose sanity if I send her to heal in the barrier. And here you have it. This is basically Gord in a nutshell. A game that's surprising in its makeup. As you can see, like you think, oh, you have so much space. Or I don't. No, I really don't. Like, look at that. If I want to put a clay, how do you call this? A pottery, or clay worker. It takes so much space. So I just have a few more building that I can add to this, and then you need to expand the palisade. It's not without reason that you can expand the palisade, but expanding palisade is quite complex because you need to do it without putting the palisade into resources and stuff like that. So it's not that easy. It's not an easy way of expanding the stuff, and some people have been complaining on this game mechanic. But yeah, other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. I think it's quite an interesting game. So if you can have it for minus 90%. At like $5 or something like that, even if you manage to get a key for free, yeah, have it a go. The game is pretty good, the campaign is pretty good, the ambience is really cool, the game mechanics and the graphics are really good. The only downside is the unresolved bugs. They exist, they are many, and unfortunately they will never be resolved unless the studio decides to release the game for modding and that the community takes over and resolve those bugs. But yeah, aside from that aspect, that can be a downside, great deal of fun. I discovered that game and I played it straight up like whole day long, and into the campaign I was so immersed into it. The ambience is really like, it takes you, so it's really cool. Gord in a nutshell. I hope you liked it. If you enjoyed the video, please smash the like button and do not hesitate to subscribe to the channel as always. You are more than welcome to come to the stream if you want to participate during the indie game discovery. That's it for this one. I see you on the next one. Bye-bye.